So at this time, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for this afternoon. His name is Joshua Johnson. He's the CEO of Reaching Back and Reaching Out, and that is a motivation. He's a motivational speaker and personal transition coach. He has a passion for helping others to see their greatness and to help them be more successful no matter what has happened to them in their lives. Joshua has endured many ups and downs in his life, and he considers himself an overcomer, a real-life success story. He has spoken in many different venues about his past, and he shares his 4 keys to success in overcoming obstacles to illustrate that everyone can be an overcomer. He has made it his personal mission to help as many people as he can by sharing his story. He shares it with at-risk youth adults, prison inmates, ex-offenders, college students, high school students, and pretty much anyone who needs to be inspired. He also has started working on forming 2 non-for-profit organizations aimed at at-risk youth and ex-offenders, giving them the necessary tools, skills, and support to succeed in the world, in the hopes of breaking the vicious cycle of victimization in our communities. He is currently enrolled in the Joseph Business School, which is located at his church, Living Word Christian Center in Forest Park, Illinois, with an expected graduation date of January 2012. He is also the proud father and husband to his 6-month-old son, Justice, and his wife, Erica. His motto, "It's not about where you've been, it's all about where you want to be," signifies everything Joshua believes in. Please welcome Joshua Johnson.
Thank you, and good afternoon. Before I begin, I don't do anything without giving honor and glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because without His blessings on my life, my story nor me would be possible. I want to thank Don, Tanisha, and Brianna for this opportunity to speak to you all today. I am honored to be standing here in front of you, the 2011 Kaplan College graduates, as well as your family and friends. Congratulations to the graduates. And I say thank you to all those in attendance in support of these graduates. I know Don already had everybody give a round of applause to the family, but let's do it again, because without them, this is impossible. A support system is the strongest thing we need in our lives. I'm sure there were many no-return phone calls, sleepless nights, and missed holiday celebrations, while the students had to study or complete homework. I'm happy to say that today is the day it all pays off. Today is the day many of you will live out your dream by receiving a degree or diploma from college. Today is the day many of you live out your dream to be relevant, to be better than those before you. I don't know how you all got here today, but I'll give you some background about me and tell you how I got here. For 10 years of my life, I was known as inmate number 305178. So this opportunity never seemed possible until recently. At the age of 17, I started going through problems at home with my parents going through a divorce. I had to realize that I'm not equipped at the age of 17 to understand how to deal with my parents' issues that they were going through. In fact, the only thing I understood at the age of 17 was chasing girls and playing sports. That's all I really cared about. I didn't understand how to deal with those feelings and thoughts I had of my parents splitting up. So at some point I just gave up. And from that point forward, I didn't care what happened to them. Some friends of mine who were experiencing difficult problems in their homes as well got together and somebody decided, let's go do some armed robberies. For 2 weeks straight, we walked the east side streets of Milwaukee, and we robbed numerous people. We didn't see people as people. We saw people as dollar signs. How much do you have, and we want it right now. We were caught 2 weeks before our high school graduation. And when we did get caught, I didn't fully understand the severity of what I had done. I truly thought that we would get a slap on the wrist because none of us were bad kids. In fact, 3 of us had been accepted to state universities already upon our graduation from high school. Once I got arrested, all I kept asking the officer was when I would get my phone call. Because as we all know, when you watch TV, the one thing you get when you get arrested is a free phone call. Well, I wanted that phone call because I didn't know anything about the justice system. I had no idea. I wanted that phone call so I could call my mom so she could come get me. Basically, that's it. I need to call her so she can come pick me up. I didn't understand how severe it was, the crimes that I committed. Well, I would get that phone call to inform my mother that it would probably be several years before I was ever a free man again. We ended up getting sentenced to 20 years in prison, which we served 10 years of those 20 years. I went from Dodge Correctional to Columbia Correctional, where the infamous Jeffrey Dahmer was murdered. And then I was sent to Texas for 2 years due to overcrowding. It was time to come back to Wisconsin, and I ended up in Oshkosh. And it was time for me to see the parole board. Now, I had all intentions of going home on my first parole year, and I really thought that I deserved an opportunity to try life again. Well, this would be my first time in my life that I realized I would be judged by what I had done in my past, what was written in black and white on paper. That was a harsh reality for me to realize at the age of 22. But it was this understanding that led me to prepare myself for the day I would be released, because I knew they couldn't keep me forever. Throughout my incarceration, I didn't even realize that God was working on my life. People I came in contact with and saw, they were able to see things in me that I was not able to see in myself. Eventually, I ended up in Winnebago Correctional, where I participated in work release until my release date. Being released from prison after 10 years was the happiest day of my life. And I truly thought the hardest part of my life was over. But what I didn't realize was my life had just begun. No longer would I be told what to eat, when to eat, what to wear, when to go to sleep, or where I could go. Let's face it, everyone in this room has faced unique experiences, I like to call them, in their lives. And dealing with those unique experiences and the way you choose to deal with them plays a significant role in who you become in your life and whether or not you'll be successful. The challenges I would now face as a 27-year-old adult being released from prison would seem insurmountable after a 10-year prison sentence. But I persevered and knew that God had a plan for me. I've experienced a high level of success in terms of making money and moving up the ladder within the company I work for. Until Thanksgiving, I was steadily employed by Walsh Construction Company of Illinois as a union labor for 5.5 years. I was laid off at Thanksgiving due to a lack of work. In those 5.5 years, I went from a guy who had no clue about construction to becoming one step below being a foreman of running my own crew. Shortly after my layoff, my son was born. And that easily surpassed and became the happiest day of my life. But now my mind was turning, trying to figure out how I was successfully provide for my family being laid off, because it wasn't just my wife and I anymore. Now we have a newborn child in the house that's going to cost money. I decided to try and leave construction and enter into corporate America, but those attempts were not meant happily. I've had to deal with numerous rejection letters due to my conviction. This was very hard to accept at first, because ever since I was released from prison, I've experienced a high level of success in anything and everything that I've tried to do. I've also surrounded myself with positive and successful men, and all these men happen to be ex-felons as well. Well, I could have allowed this to frustrate me and discourage me. My attempts to change career paths, the idea of it really did seem insurmountable. But I decided that I remembered a quote that I heard a long time ago that said, "My past does not define who I am or who I will be. My incarceration was punishment for my actions that I committed in the past. I don't make any excuses for what I did, but just imagine how frustrating it must be if someone constantly held something against you from when you were a child. Nevertheless, I have left it all in the past where it belongs." That's how I came up with the motto for reaching back and reaching out. It's not about where you have been. It's all about where you want to be.